Hello guys, welcome to another video. First of all, I said that this story doesn't belong to me, so if you read the full story for yourself, you can go down in the description and find a link to the original post and read the full story for yourself. That being said, let's get into the video. Naruto The Ninjutsu Prodigy, Part 4, Chapter 4. The Raikage's return to the hidden cloud. Naruto's second mission. It was finally a day that the Lord of the fourth Raikage was was returning to the hidden cloud village, and by some miracle Naruto was his personal escort. They had just left the village and were already halfway to the borders of the fire country. The Raikage decided that now was a good time to rest and get better acquainted with the son of his rival and said, "So you asked me to tell you about my Jinchuriki, Yubito Ni, and Killer Bee, right? Well then, you wouldn't be disappointed. They are both very powerful and have full control over their tailed beast. Killer Bee is my adopted brother. Yubito is a daughter to me. You could say that I see them as my own family. Your father was a very strong and powerful shinobi when I met him on battlefield. He was actually the first person to ever be able to outrun me. So you have a lot to live up to. Your parents were great people. Their sacrifice weren't in vain. They did what they did what was necessary to protect the village and you from the most powerful tailed beast, which you now contained, the nine-tailed fox. With enough training, you could probably master its power. We should take a break for now. I will take the first watch for while you set up the campsite. After setting up the campsite, Naruto then looked at the Raikage and said, "You know, never had an easy life growing up because of the nine tails sealed inside me. Everyone treated me like I was the Kyuubi in, incarnate. But because you are always around, I bet that your Jinchuriki, Yogiti, Ni, and Killer Bee were practically praised like heroes for containing their tail feast. They weren't treated like a weapon for the village or talked down to like garbage." The Raikage then said, "Did everyone in Konoha treat you like that, or just the villagers?" And Naruto said, "Just the villagers mostly, and maybe a few shinobi, but not all of the shop owners were bad. There is this ramen place called Ichiraku's Ramen. They were the first people to treat me like a person, aside of the Hokage that is." And the Raikage said, "So nobody in Konoha, aside of you, the Hokage, and the Sanin Joraya and Tsunade, and the Council of Shinobi and Civilian Council know who your parents are." And that old fool Hokage refused to tell anyone because of me, the hidden stone and the hidden mist. Was he really that paranoid? Was he really that paranoid? And Naruto said, "Apparently he was still is to the point that it was made an triple S rank secret. Nobody's children were supposed to know I contained the nine tails, not even me. I found out on my own. Found out everything on my own. I don't feel like I have any trust left to give to the Hokage anymore, except for his skills, that is. With Danzo Shimura gone, he's taken back most of the civilian council." The Raikage felt sad for Naruto, knowing full well that he's got no family to call his own and no clan to fall back on because his present kill them off. The Raikage then had a thought and said, "What if I told you that not all of the Uzumaki clan were destroyed, and some actually survived their clan destruction? If I told you that there's Uzumaki clan members scattered across the elemental nations in hiding, what would you do? And how would you find them?" And Naruto said, "That's a pretty good question. First, I would have to know what to look for and where to find them if they are even still alive, and then I would have to convince them to come with me to the Hidden Leaf Village. Not an easy thing to do. This isn't the time this isn't the time of the first Hokage Hashirama Senju and the Uzumaki clan alliance anymore. This is the modern day where trust runs very thin with Konoha." And the Raikage said, "Well, that's all I need to hear, because I have been trying to locate Uzumaki clan members ever since your mother Kushina Uzumaki slipped through my grasp. I have a map for the location of possible Uzumaki clan members hidden hideouts. If the first one is in the hidden grass village, the rest of you will have to search for the maps pretty old for the time of the second Raikage. We should get some sleep." Then Naruto went into his tent and put out the campfire so nobody would spot their location. After a good night's rest, Naruto and the Raikage woke up and continued their journey back to the hidden cloud. They had made it past the borders of the Fire Country and were now entering Lightning Country territory, where they could then cross the mountains into the Hidden Cloud Village. After crossing the mountains, they made it to the front gate of the Hidden Cloud Village, and the Raikage immediately called for a council meeting, saying that he had some trash to get rid of. Naruto or Naruto or Fox moved back to the shadows and waited, following the Raikage to his village council chambers. Once inside, the council meeting was called to order and only entrance or exit sealed shut. The Raikage then said, "Now I am sure you all wondering what's happened in Konoha during the talk about peace negotiation. Well, I can assume you that I don't know what you people were thinking, but nobody on this council could have ruined our alliance with Konoha. Could have ruined our alliance with Nobody on this council could ruin. Nice. They did have an alliance. Nice. The Raikage already knew he was responsible. They were sitting right next to him for Kami's God's sake. One of the council members then asked, "Lord Raikage, where is the Emperor Shinobi we sent with you? Did something happen to him?" Then the Raikage said, "That's a good question. Tell me something. How many people here are still loyal to my father's cause for gaining the Byakugan from Konoha?" At least half of the council on the Shinobi and civilian side raised their hands, and the Raikage was disappointed in them. It seems like he has a lot of trash to take care of. The Raikage then asked, "And how many of you are actually foolish enough to think that you would succeed behind my back and not risk another war between Konoha and Kumo?" Again, the same number of people raised their hands, and the Raikage said as he pushed out the scroll from the Hokage. "This is a scroll with details of the event that happened during my talk with the Hokage for peace. Apparently, someone here gave the ambassador orders to kidnap the heiress of the Hyuga clan, not knowing that she had an 24/7 anbu guarding her at all hours of the day and night. Tell me, how many of you have heard of the Fox?" At hearing that name, Ration Kusen, the Raikage's council went silent, and his advisors shook with fear, writing all over their faces as one of the advisors slowly backed towards the door and said, "No, no, that's not possible. The ambassador we sent with you was sworn to secrecy, but about the kidnapping attempt. How did you find out the Nation Kisun, prodigal ninjutsu shinobi of Konoha? He's here now. Somebody do something. We have to call for our Shinjuki to save us. We have to call our Shinjuriki to save us." And the Raikage said, "Don't bother, since it's obvious that you are the loyalist that has been rallied behalf of the council to your cause. The plenty of this death, the penalty for this is death. For defying your fourth Raikage and trying to cause a national incident between villages, you are sentenced to death." Renegation Reaction Kison. A loud clapping sound could be heard from the ceiling, and a bright yellow lightning illuminated the room as the only word that were heard spoken was the ninja art, yellow lightning style, Chidori flash. Everyone in the chamber watched as the Anbu who escorted the Raikage back to the village vanished in a yellow flash and used the yellow lightning jutsu through the advisor's chest and out his back. The Raikage then said, "Does anyone else want to make any more attempts to steal Konoha's Byakugan? I can guarantee you that you wouldn't be leaving this room alive, since half of you people are still considering it. Let's change the entire giving up on the Byakugan or be killed here and now." Seeing the Kisan still had his yellow lightning juice activated made them all think twice before speaking, and they all said, "We swear to give up on any further Bakugan mission and surrender ourselves peacefully." The yellow fox then cancelled his yellow lightning jutsu and said, "Will you be needing me for anything else, Lord Raikage? I am here to help you with the alliance should anything change. Just use this kunai and I will be here." When the entire council saw the three-pronged kunai knife that was handed to the Raikage, their eyes all widened in fear and panickingly said, "Everyone, run! It's a yellow flash. He's back from the dead." Naruto then removed his mask and said, "I am not the yellow flash of Konoha. I am his son, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, and as you all have seen and heard, I am also the yellow lightning fox of Konoha. You are all on my watch list now, so if I were you, I would fall in line and do as Raikage says, or you might just be receiving more visits from me." Naruto then put his mask back on, leaving the rest of the council with fear in their hearts and minds. The Raikage's face could only be described as recurring and sadly right now as he looked at his council and said, "You all heard him. I am the one who is in charge of the village, not you people. I make the final decision around here, and I will imprison anyone who opposes me, unless you want to have the yellow lightning fox making more visits." The Raikage let the thunder hang over threat hang over the council head while he awaited for their fear to attend incomplete, and once it did, they all shouted out, "No, that's not necessary, Raikage-sama. We wouldn't disobey your orders ever again." The Raikage had just gained a whole lot of security, knowing he could still get people to fear him if he pushed hard enough. The rest of the day was quite uneventful as Naruto wasn't on duty as Yellow of Ox. At the moment, he decided to go look around the village to find out where a good place to get ramen was. To his delight, he found one and ordered 10 bowls of ramen. Meanwhile, sitting across from Naruto was a beautiful blonde woman with her hair in a long ponytail, dressed in a blue kimono-style black jacket with black mesh armor and shirt underneath, wearing black sandals and stockings that came up to her knee. She had beautiful brown eyes and an aura of power that just told to people to leave her alone. After finishing his ramen, Naruto went over to the woman and said, "Excuse me, but you don't happen to be Yugito ni, Jinchuriki of the Two-Tailed Cat, would you? More commonly known as the Ice Cat of Kumo?" And Yugito said, "It depends on who's asking and who wants to know. Just who exactly are you?" Inside the seal, Nibi was screaming at Yugito, saying, "Be careful around this guy, kitten. He is like you and Killer Bee. He is a Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. I don't, would know that powerful chakra anywhere. But how's that possible? Last I heard, he was sealed by the fourth Hokage on his own. No, kitten, we got to get away from him." And Yugi to say, "Why is that, newbie? Who is this guy anyways? And who do you what do you know mean he's a Jinchuriki of the did you just say nine tails? Oh crap." And the Navy said, "Be careful with how you talk to him, kitten. He's got a every high fire elemental. He's got a high he's got a very high fire element and a strong lightning element as well as wind and water. I'm sensing a slight oh crap, kitten. This guy has all five chakra natures." And Yugito asks, "How is that even possible? Maybe there's no way anyone that skilled at ninjutsu. There's just no way he's able to use all five. That it's impossible." And Ivy said, "Not entirely, kitten. In some rare case, people in Konoha are born with two elemental affinities or even three, but only one clan being known to be able to use all five, but have have a very high water affinity, the Uzumaki clan, which simply why explains why he has the why he's the nine-tailed Jinchuriki." And Yugito said, "We are both dead if I don't say the right things." And polite towards him, "Aren't we, Newbie?" And then Newbie said, "Yes, kitten. Yes, we are. He is walking away. You better go after him and apologize." Yuito then ran after Naruto and tried to catch up with him, but because he was so damn fast, it's like they were playing a game of cat and mouse, quite literally, since Naruto was the mouse and Yuito was the host of the two-tailed cat. She then realized that Naruto had stopped at the training ground in the mountains and decided to watch what he was doing, and what she saw amazed her as she heard Naruto say, "Yellow lightning style, Raikiri slash." Naruto then channeled towards his mountain wall, remaining his ramming his hand into it, completely destroying it with a single strike. Yuito and Ni Navy both shrugged cringe in fear as they felt sorry for the person who got hit with that, but then realized from this shock when Yugito felt a tap on her shoulder and looking behind her, Naruto said, "Why are you and the Navy spying on me? If you want to know how I found you so quickly, just look on your shoulder sleeve. I placed an Hirashin shield on your shoulder back at the food stand, trying to leave me as far as possible, and I will come right to you by focusing on that seal. It's what made my father so famous. You to realize now that she is not going to be escaping for a while, so she just jumped off and landed she and Naruto were on and said, "So Nibi was right. You are the son of the Yellow Flash of Konoha and you're definitely an Uzumaki. But I'm curious, how much mastery of the tailed-based power do you have?" Naruto then said, "At the moment, 6 tails of power before I lose control. Any more than that and Kurama would take over my body." And Yugito said, "So Nibi was right. Cause I'm curious though, how can you possess all 5 chakra natures and at once?" And Naruto said, "Being the ninth health Jinchuriki has its benefits. That's all I can tell you." And Yugito said, "So what brings you to Kumo? I saw you with the Raikage coming back into the village and towards the council chambers. What's that all about?" And Naruto said, "I'm his escort back from Konoha, and as for the other part, well, that's between our respective village leaders to see top secret information. You're a Jonin as well as Jonin as you are a Jonin as well, so I can assume you know how it goes." Yugito then said, "You are awfully young to be a Jonin, let alone an Anbu Black Ops. Are you more a sort of April shinobi?" And Naruto, "What would you say if I told you that I could use any ninjutsu after seeing the hand seals of it only once and improve upon their technique?" And Yugito said, "I would say that's kinda impossible without a Sharingan, but I'm willing to test out your claim. Try this jutsu once for your size. Lightning style, lightning cone, jutsu." Naruto watched closely and observed the hand seal as if in slow motion. He then went through the same hand seal and said, "Okay then, watch this. Lightning style shadow clone jutsu." Yugito then watched as 3 clones, shadow clones with sparkling of lightning around them appeared, and Naruto said, "Well, crap. Looks like I'm gonna have to work on the elemental aspect of a shadow clone now, but at least I can succeed in combining the other elemental affinities with it." Yuichi's jaw dropped to the ground in shock as she said, "Did did you just say that you are able to combine your elemental affinities with shadow clones? That's crazy." And Naruto said, "No, not really. For someone like me who's got enormous chakra reserves, it's easy to do, but anyone with sense, same person would take more months to get it correct. So far I am the only one in Konoha that can do it." Killer Bee was watching from a distance at the incident between Naruto and Yuito, and he had to admit the kid had lots of talent. If what his brother the Raikage said was true, then the kid was a natural born genius. Naruto then drew a kunai and flicked it at Killer Bees faster than he realized it, and watched as Naruto vanished in yellow flash and reappeared, kunai knife in hand, at Killer Bee's throat. Said, "Help, Killer Bee! What brings you here? Spying on your brother's escort? I could cut your throat, but we both know that's not gonna be easy, right? Eight tails. And Hachibi said to Killer B, watch your back around this guy. He's faster than the yellow flash of Konoha. I wonder if he maybe they are. Hmm, there is similarities in appearance, so it's possible. And being said that, and B said, so what you're saying to me, Killer B, is that I in a mad dash. This is the son of the yellow flash of Konoha. All well, ain't that a real bummer? Huh? Hachibi then smacked B over the head with one of his tail and said, "I'm serious, B. This is no joke. You saw how strong that lightning style of his was. My guess is that it is his version of the Chidori. He is also be able to use the Hiraishi technique, essentially he is the perfect shinobi. He can also use the shadow clone jutsu apparently as well. Kilabi then said, alright, alright, I surrender. It's better than you cutting me up at that with that kunai knife, nice and tender. And Naruto said, "Good choice. Now that we gotten acquainted with each other, you should know that I am not just the son of the Yellow Flash. I am also the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. My mother, Kushina Uzumaki, was the host before me, and the first Hokage's wife was the host before her. I have control of up to six tails of the power before losing my self-control, which I never really use unless I have to." And Yugito said, then let us know if you are need any help with your training in taming your tail beast, and we would probably teach you how to. Naruto then said, "No, thank you. I can handle myself. Always have been, and always will be." Kurama's okay with me when he's not sleeping. I think he does it he does it because he's bored. I don't disturb him at all, and he gives me a single tael worth of chakra on my birthday each year. I don't disturb him at all, and he gives me a single tael's worth of chakra on my birthday each year. He said something about my body getting assured and potency of his chakra. I am only 6 years old by the way. One of the youngest Anbu Black Ops in Konoha, and Yugito said to herself, well, that explains then why he's only able to use six tails source of power. The QE is trying to get him used to his chakra. It use it in moderation, one tail of power per year. That means in another 3 years he will be able to use all nine tails of power. Interesting. Naruto had gotten tired and decided to call it a day and went to hotel to rent a room, even though Yugito had insisted on him staying with her, not waiting to be all along again. Naruto decided to keep her company. When he gets back to Konoha, he had to make a note of finding a pet cat for Yugito finding a pet cat for Yugiti, so she's not alone anymore. Naruto stayed in the separate guest room of Yugito's apartment and then fell asleep, saying that he's gotten a bad feeling something was going to happen in Konoha soon, and it's not good. Naruto would soon wake up next day, teleporting back to Konoha only to find out that his bad feeling was about to come true. So what is that bad feeling? If you wanna know what that bad feeling of Naruto was, then the best way is by subscribing, because by subscribing you will be able to be the first one to know when the next part of this what if is released. That is all for this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye.